welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a source text that is literally going to challenge everything you think you know about reality, about consciousness, and, maybe most importantly, about time. We're diving into excerpts from this incredibly thought-provoking piece called The Quantumistic Mastery of Nonlinear Awareness. And look, whether you're a total skeptic or a seasoned spiritual seeker, the concepts we're about to explore offer a radically different lens for how you view your everyday life.
So think about this. What if time isn't a cage, but actually a code? Our text today asks us to take that everyday illusion of a chronological timeline and just completely shatter it. It asks us to consider that the way we're experiencing reality right now might just be one massive habit of perception, rather than some unbreakable law of physics. We're going to see how the authors frame this idea of breaking out of the cage so we can actually read the underlying code of reality itself.
The whole premise of the source material centers around this one profound quote: "To live beyond time is not to escape it, it's to see through it." Over the next few minutes, we're going to explore this central claim. The idea here is that we actually have the capacity to become what the author calls multidimensional beings. In this state, time stops being this tyrant dictating our inevitable decay and instead becomes more like a texture, something you can learn to feel, to navigate, and ultimately to shape.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. The linear time illusion.
To really get where this text is taking us, we first have to recognize the rules that are currently running our lives. Our culture rigidly teaches us that time is this exact, unyielding arrow, right? It points in one direction, forward. It goes from your birth in the past, through the daily grind of the present, straight toward death in the future. The text points out that we are so deeply conditioned to view this progression as fixed and completely inescapable. We're basically just trudging down this linear corridor, feeling like passive passengers on a train whose brakes have totally failed.
But the authors completely redefine time by contrasting two very distinct worldviews. On one hand, you have the old paradigm, right? Time is a substance, a cage, a fixed arrow. But on the other hand, you have the new paradigm. Time is a code. It's described as a fluid relationship characterized by nested spirals. The argument here is that when you start viewing time as a code, you realize it's not a trap at all. It's actually filled with repeating patterns and choice points. Time isn't doing something to you, it's a framework you're constantly interacting with.
Which brings us to part 2, time as a living code.
So how exactly does a code like this even work? Well, author Gregg Braden describes this beautifully in his concept of fractal time. He suggests that time unfolds in nested spirals, with repeating patterns echoing across scales. We're talking from the microscopic atomic level all the way up to massive planetary shifts. The source emphasizes that recognizing these cycles is absolutely key, because once you see the spiral, you stop being that passive traveler just reacting to random events, and you become an active navigator. You can start anticipating choice points and literally changing your trajectory. This idea gets pushed even further by Rupert Sheldrake's theory of Morphic Resonance. The text breaks down this concept, proposing that memories don't just live in our physical brains. Instead, they exist in non-local fields that transcend space and time entirely. Basically, the past isn't behind us, it's right here, fully accessible. And it gets wilder. The text cites quantum physicist Dean Radin to suggest that linear causality itself is an illusion. Radin and Sheldrake propose that future potentialities, what they call morphic attractors, are actually exerting an influence backwards in time. They are actively calling to the present. So, in a very real way, the future is literally shaping the now.
Let's move to part 3, the matrix of consciousness.
Now, if the past is always with us and the future is actively calling to us, you might be wondering, what's the actual medium for this communication? Well, according to the text, we all exist inside what Gregg Braden calls the divine matrix. Think of it as an interactive, living field that is constantly listening and responding to the frequency of our awareness. But here's a really critical distinction the source makes. This matrix is shaped primarily by emotion, not just thought. So if you want to collapse time and bring a future possibility into your present reality, the source insists you have to feel your future as real before you ever see it. Emotion, it turns out, is the true language of the universe.
This crucial point is summed up so perfectly by Dean Radin. He says, "Belief precedes outcome. Attention focused with clarity becomes causative." The text makes a point to frame this not as some mystical superstition, but as what Radin actually calls real magic. It's the native inherent capacity of human consciousness to influence probability. It's the disciplined application of your intention. Having certainty, even when you have literally zero physical evidence, acts as a quantum force that can quite literally bend reality.
Now, the text's quick to clarify that this isn't just some selfish power grab to get whatever you want. Radin and Sheldrake view human consciousness as deeply, deeply entangled. We aren't just separate, isolated bubbles walking around, we're participants in one giant interconnected field. Because of that, stabilizing your own internal frequency in states of joy, peace, or love actually creates a resonance point for everyone else. When you shift yourself, you're shifting the collective morphic field. So your personal timeline mastery, it actually becomes a profound act of planetary service.
Let's see how this builds in Part 4, Practices for Timeline Mastery.
To bring these vast cosmic theories down to earth into grounded daily habits, the text outlines Dr. Joe Dispenza's methodology for what he calls quantum jumping. It basically involves 3 key steps: daily alignment through meditation, maintaining emotional consistency throughout your day, and literally experiencing the future in the present moment. The text uses this really beautiful metaphor here. It suggests that the human body acts as a tuning fork for the quantum field. The idea is, the longer you can hold the energetic frequency of your desired future in your body today, the more inevitable its physical arrival actually becomes.
And this brilliantly illustrates how hard science is actually backing up this mystic approach. The text brings in neuroscience through Daniel Siegel's Faces flow. Siegel suggests that constantly returning our attention to the now integrates our time perception and creates a highly coherent mind. When we are truly present, our neural pathways become flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable. According to the text, this specific neurobiological state is the exact physical echo of the mystic's vibration.
Which brings us to our final section. Part 5, Radiating from the Center.
So what does a life of nonlinear awareness actually look and feel like? Well, instead of moving linearly from past to future using logical deduction, and instead of defining yourself by your chronological age, the multidimensional self radiates from the center. You start measuring your life not in months and years, but in moments of profound frequency resonance. You learn to deeply trust your intuitive knowing over strict logic, and you let synchronicity be your guide, rather than trying to force outcomes.
I want to slow down for a second here and really let this profound philosophical takeaway sink in. The text says, you become timeless, not by escaping change, but by becoming the changeless within it. The source material concludes not with some demand to control the universe, but with an invitation to just dissolve into the deep underlying intelligence that dances beneath time itself, to become so attuned to presence that you navigate impermanence with absolute grace.
And I want to leave you with this highly memorable, really provocative question drawn straight from the text. Will you continue chasing signs, or will you begin emitting them? The author suggests that when you truly embody this nonlinear awareness, you become a living oracle of your own path. You stop waiting around for the universe to tell you what to do, and you start broadcasting the frequency of the reality you actually wish to inhabit. It is such a fascinating perspective on human potential, and one that really challenges us to rethink our every interaction with time. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the Quantumistic. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.
Thank you for watching. If something in this resonated with you, then you're already closer than you think. If you're ready to go deeper, there's a link below to my book, Quantum Manifestation: How to Collapse Time and Shift Timelines. This isn't theory. It's a framework you can actually use. Tap the link below and step into it.